Obviously the skip's coming in very well today. Alright, all finished. I'll just do a final alignment, clean up, check my work, and I consider this one finished for Andrew. As you can see, Andrew, a lot of work. Alright, thank you very much, guys, and much appreciated to all the viewers watching my small videos. But this is probably one of the most complex radios I've had to work on. I had it sitting here for 2 months or 3 months, 3 months I think it was. I knew it was going to be a problem, but not as much as this. So it's been very parts heavy, and yeah. All right, thank you very much. Comment, like and subscribe. All right, hello YouTube, it's Paul again. I got some great news today. So I've spent around 2.5 to 3 hours on the SBE SIDEBANDER 5, and I want to show you something. Obviously it had me confused because, and this happens, there was SSB transmit audio, no AM transmit audio, and no RX audio, either via externally or there. So after going through and just tracing back from multiple areas and sticking the audio section on the scope, I kept blowing fuses. So questions started to arise around the HA1339 IC, which was showing voltage. It was showing output on most of the pins, so I ignored that and instead just went through and made sure there was no dry joints. But obviously there's a reason why this regulator was heating up. So I consulted a colleague, Graham, thanks Graham mate, and told him what I'd done, gone through it, and this is where it always is great for you guys to talk to others and have mentors. We don't know everything, and I certainly don't. I'm just an enthusiast that studied electronics for most of his life. But I'm not a tech, as we all know. We've discussed that in the past. All right, so I want to show you something. When I dismantle radios, I keep heat sinks and I keep the chips joined to them so that they're a drop-in replacement when the time comes. I want to show you this. This is the HA1339, which I removed from this radio. Now this is as is. I have not cleaned this. Look at the back of it. What does that tell you? Now I've removed the from the heatsink. When I removed it, the gasket that was on there, it had nothing on it as well. So for some reason somebody replaced this and they did not put any heat transfer material on. So they've just, if this was a good IC, they blew it. Okay, and the new one's in there. Alright, so what happens? So we've got audio finally. And the radio is receiving.
Time, mate, can happen any time. Just got to make the most of it, mate. Just remember the good times. But as I said, we're still fishing, so I'll still get out there and get into it, when I can.
Alright, so we go to AM, go to channel 1 so we don't cause any interference. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 on AM test. Alright, so we didn't have that before. So the other thing that what confused me was I had a SSB audio, as you know, in my previous videos, but no AM and no RX. And it only dawned on me last night after doing a RX alignment, it was receiving. Naturally with a dead radio you can't see if it's receiving. Well, the needle was moving on some strong signals last night, so that was a really good elation. I didn't have a dead receiver. So I went through and just did an alignment all the way through here, and then redid the sensitivity over this side of the radio, and it's come alive. So we're on channel 35. Alright, so this has been a rather, look, here's the parts removed. I'm getting a big picture as to what happened with this radio, and I'm thinking that the person that worked on it wasn't a technician, because what they did was, and this is where a little bit of knowledge is quite harmful, what the person did was, yes, you start with the dry joints. You start to try and find out where dry joints are. This person instead of doing the pressure tests and going over in 1 centimetre blocks to try and isolate issues, I'm guessing here, but what may have happened is they've just gone through and just reflowed. So they haven't removed the solder, they've just and in the process they've damaged so many tracks in here, which I had to repair. They blew, let's see, where are we? They blew that chip, so that regulator. Now we know they blew the audio chip. The other telltale signs was the RF can had been removed from the 1966. So I checked that. That was on the way out. Its driver, 1306, was on the way out. What else did I do? I went through and recapped the whole radio. Power came back up after I replaced the finals. And I noticed that after I replaced them before the caps, or halfway through the caps, that I gained about 5 watts. 3 or 4 watts. So it took it to 5. So it wasn't until I did a full recap that we started getting 24, 25 watts out of this radio. And the audio was nice and strong after I did the speech expander. So what's happened here is someone's got in this radio with all good intentions, and they've actually just damaged every part of the radio. So then what they did after that was, because they couldn't work out what had happened, they started screwdrivering all the pots. And that's where I came into it. So this radio, I'm going to do a bit more of a clean, a bit more of an alignment, but very, very happy at the result. Any questions, please ask, guys. And thanks again, Graham, VK3GL, much appreciated. Good friend of mine. We work on radios between us. And it's as I said, it's good to have mentors and people to help, because they're separated from the situation, and it's as in this situation, it drew me back to the problem folding and not ignoring it. So in summary, the HA339, half of it was damaged inside, and it was most likely damaged due to heat, and it blew because it had no way to dissipate it, and then all the others history. All right, comment, like and subscribe. Thank you very much.